Okay, people. So, thanks to Charlotte Matheson, got an invite to go see Reawakening. You know what I mean? This is from Virginia Gilbert. She wrote and directed, right? The film is produced by Gilbert and Barry Castanola, executive produced by Lachette Walters and Jared Harris, line production from Barry Reed. Torquil Monroe handled the music. Gilles Harvey was on cinematography. Harry Gilbert was casting. Amy Meek, production design. Art direction is Kerry Addy. Holly Smart, costume design. Hair and makeup, we've got Katie Judd and Lucy Willis. So our cast, right? Yeah, so Jared Harris is John, and oh gosh, where is, man, just all the information is all over the, like, sometimes people, sometimes IMDb is terrible. Okay, his wife Mary is played by Juliet Stevenson. They've got a daughter called Clare, right? A young version of Clare is played by Harriet Keeler, and Dayna Dixon. And then we have got the older Clare, the now Clare, played by Erin Doherty. There is also Magda, played by Alona Baranova. We have got Andrea, played by Lily Hardy. Carl, played by Tommy May. Nathan, played by Michael Monroe. There's Steve, played by Larry Olumwewu. Ethan Roberts is Mark. Nolene is played by Noni Stapleton. Adam is played by Morgan Watkins. Molly Pepper Tua is a schoolgirl. Girl in the Cafe is played by Isabel Gainey. Another schoolgirl is played by Bertie Cross. The Woman on the Street is played by Scarlett Bobby. Fiona Skinner has a role as well. Now, there are some people missing off the cast who have pivotal roles in the film, which is frustrating. It is a little frustrating. Now, the gist of the film is this: John and Mary have lived in an agonizing limbo of grief and guilt for the past 10 years. Their only child, Claire, ran away from home when she was 14, and no trace of her whereabouts has ever been found. When Claire returns, now a young woman of 24, Mary is overjoyed, but John comes to believe that Claire is not who she claims to be. As old tensions resurface, a gripping search for the truth unfolds. So, yeah. Now, this is the second film from Virginia, right? And it's 11 years since the first one. A long way home, I believe that was in 2013. And this is, man, this is an interesting film, right? It's an interesting film. It's got an incredible cast. Like, the cast kill it. The performances are just incredible. incredible performances, especially with what we're asking these people to do, right? The emotions we are asking them to portray and bring to life, and they do it, and they do it exceptionally well. You know what I mean? That was very good. And this story, like, we start off and we're seeing women walking, right? Women with blonde hair walking. And then we have a voice, like, yeah, she's blonde hair, blue eyes with some, no, green eyes with some blue in them, right? Slim build. And you're like, wait, what's happening here? Right? Is this a serial killer looking for a, you know what I mean? A subject? Like what? And no, it's a dad, right? It's a dad talking about his daughter and saying, like, she could be any of these people now, but she ran away when she was 14. It's 10 years, right? So she's definitely changed, right? Is she out there? Like, he's trying to find. And then we're at a press conference, and we got the father and the mother, John and Mary, with the constable, the DI, and they're putting out a call, right? A call for action. People to please keep looking. But when you look at that room, it's not full, right? It's not full of journalists. It's the coverage, right? It's been 10 years. People out of mind, out of sight, right? And you feel that. You really do feel that. It's heart wrenching. And yeah, it's this couple are trying to deal, trying to live, trying to function. Right? And we got these, man, there's a scene when Mary is in Claire's room and just having a conversation. Right? Having a conversation, and you're just like, oh man, oh man. Right? We've got them having a meal together, and the conversation, it's like they're tiptoeing through life, right? Certain questions are asked and they just ignoring them, both of them, right? Just ignoring them. It's really just, man. And it's the cadence and all of this kind of stuff which really resonates with you. And one day Claire's back, and it's like the moment when John sees her. Oh boy, it's craziness, right? So it's really, yeah, man, it's really well played. Now, the film, it says it's a thriller. I didn't necessarily think it was a thriller. Like, it's psychological because it's dealing with these kind of topics and threads and all of this kind of thing. I didn't know if it was a thriller to the extent of what you're hoping for in a thriller, right? And you're thinking, wait, what? You I thought you said everything was great, the performances were great, all of that, and they were. I think there's points with this film where you are a bit, because we're teased. I mean, teased, maybe not the word, but certain things are alluded to, right? With the disappearance of Claire, right? We're alluded to. There's a conversation because John goes to this I don't know what you would call it. It's like a cafe where I think they look after homeless people, right? Runaways and that kind of thing. And he goes there regularly to speak to people to see if they've heard of his daughter, seen his daughter, met his daughter, right? And there's an interaction with a girl there. And yeah, certain things seem to be alluded to, right? We have this. And then with Claire's return, again, there's things that are alluded to. But you feel there's some things that never really get clarified, right? They never go, and there's things that kind of still make you wonder about something that's in out there. We also, right, there's a situation with Claire, and it doesn't necessarily get followed up in a certain way, right? Because you could say by the end of the film, things are now there, right? But when you think about what has happened, what everyone's been living with, you do think there's questions. There's questions that should be asked, right? You think there's things with the police that how come that's not being followed up, right? How come no one has said this thing? So there are a few things which I think hold the film back from being exceptional. Like it's very good. It's very good. But I think it could have hit that next level if we had just broke certain things, had certain conversations. There's also, one of the homeless girls in this cafe place is a young black girl. And it's just like she's so angry and it's not really explained, right? So you just have this kind of depiction of an angry black girl, which is a bit of a narrative, right? And listen, don't get me wrong. I am not saying Virginia was doing anything, you know what I mean, over with this, but it's just a shame the character isn't explored a bit more, right? Because you just have this angry black girl, which, as again, not saying Virginia was doing anything with this, but it is a narrative, right? There are people that think that's what they are, right? And so it's a little bit of a shame we don't flesh that part of the story out, right? And it's just one of those dangling threads because there are two or three dangling threads left. Right now, yeah, there are answers. There are definitely answers that we have. So I think it will be fulfilling for a lot of people. But yeah, I just wanted just these three things. And then I think this film could have been that next level. We do like the score is good, but there is a bit of mood music, right? I would have just lost the mood music in certain places because I think the scene is powerful enough without that. But yeah, no, Reawakening is a good film. It's a good film, as I say, great performances. A good directorial effort from Virginia Gilbert, and I think it's going to be a focus of conversations when people leave this film. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, people gonna be like, "Yo, that was crazy, right? That did this to me." I think there will definitely be some of that. So, yeah, people, be yeah, beware. This will drop Friday the 13th, right? Friday the 13th. You will be able to go to your local cinema, um, and check out this new film, right? And yeah, it's an interesting one. So, people, it's a killer cast, killer performances, a subject that is like, yo, you know what I mean? It's a gully subject. You know what I mean? It's something I've heard about. Like, there's been cases that dealt with it, but I've not seen a film that has like covered this shit. So it's interesting for sure. So yeah, Reawakening.